I'm interested in how the other night kind of went in the changing room, because it felt like for 30 odd minutes it was a really good performance and you were really on top and didn't take chances perhaps, and then ultimately after 120 minutes get knocked out of the FA Cup, potentially 4 players have gone off injured. How difficult is that to take? How much picking up does there have to be in that changing room after a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one to take. Of course, we never want to lose, and we never want to lose important players. Obviously, we don't know the extent of the injuries, and it's not, it's not my speciality. But yeah, it's difficult one, and obviously the mood was down after the game. But the game's come thick and fast. We got to get up for Saturday and move on pretty much, because at the end of the day, we can't change what's happened. So. Like you say, there's positives to take still, so we got to take those into a big game on Saturday.
Just within a game, when you lose a player, whether it's a little niggle or a serious injury, how hard is it to adjust? Because you'll have had a plan, you'll have been working on it all week in training, and to suddenly go, well, oh, that person's not there anymore. It's not a reflection on who comes in, but is it difficult to adapt?
It is and it isn't, because it's one of those things. Everyone knows their job, and everyone that's on the bench and comes in should know their role, and everyone does in the changing room. So it's not like a lack of understanding or anything. So everyone is on the same level with that. So I don't think it's as hard as everyone thinks. But obviously it does disrupt, obviously, because people are disappointed they're not playing, etc., etc. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, stuff like that. So, and we're not going to use that as an excuse.
And just generally, from the perspective of a player coming in, you've been in that situation. You came into the club and played, but you've also been on the subs bench, come on as a substitute. You were in from the start again the other night. Is the mindset something that you have to sort of get your head round, that I need to be ready immediately, but I might not be on the pitch at the start?
Yeah, I mean, we're all professional. You've got to be professional, and you've got to keep your standards high, no matter if you're playing, whether you're on the bench. You all are a role to the team, and everyone does that here really well. So you've got to know, you've got to be ready, because like you say, I've been in and out, but I've got to keep my head high, and I've got to make sure that when I come in I perform the best I can, because everyone's got a role to play.
And is it different coming into this environment when you've played for QPR? Of course, you've been involved for QPR, but perhaps not as regularly as you have for Accrington here in League Two. Does that change your mindset as well?
Yeah, no, because I've wanted to come here and I want to play every game, just like I did when I was at QPR. Everyone, we're paid professionals. We want to play every game. We want to do the best we can. So I don't think my mindset's changed too much, but I've also got to prepare almost better, because now I want to play here every week, and I want to challenge Jay and Brad and the ones that are playing, because that's my job.
I think it's said in the world of theatre and stuff, if you're the understudy to the person who's playing the main role, you sometimes might have learnt the part better. You might be able to do it off the top of your head because you're so keen to be in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when a player comes in, and not necessarily you, but when a player comes in from being out of the side, do you see that? Do you see that sort of redoubled effort?
Yeah, because you want to play, and you also learn off the ones that are maybe doing what you aren't doing at the moment, and you've got to learn off them, because they're maybe doing things that are better than you. So you've got to constantly be learning and getting better. And when you come in, you've got to take your chance. And that's what everyone on the bench should be trying to do, or anyone that's not playing. So, yeah.
We hear quite a bit in football, you win or you learn. Mm-hmm. How easy is it to learn from your mistakes? I guess in theory it's easy. In practice, is it quite tough?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's not much time in football to learn and rectify the mistakes, because the games come every 3-4 days. So you've got to take what you can, and also take the positives and build on them as well.
Just as far as this game is concerned, probably doesn't get more high profile than this in League Two.
Yeah.
Is it possible to separate the actual facts of going out and playing the football match from the hype around Wrexham and from the sort of media that goes along with it? Or can that actually help? Can that give it a real big game feel?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's aware of everything that goes on with them. But at the end of the day, for us, it's just another game. You've got to treat it like any other game. We've got to go into it with the same mindset that we're going to win, and kind of ignore all of that, because at the end of the day, to us, it's irrelevant. So we're going to go out there with a game plan and do the best we can.
Is that kind of thing the sort of thing that you consume TV-wise? Would you watch a documentary about a football club, or is it too close to home?
Personally, I haven't watched it. I have watched football documentaries, of course, but like I haven't watched this one because I just haven't. So I'm not a massive fan of them. I kind of like to switch off from it when I go home, and it does consume you a lot. So to come away from it when you are at home and watch different things, yeah, that's more me.
Do you think having worldwide interest in lower division football in this country is a good thing for the Football League?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course, because it shows that football at all levels in this country is very high profile now. And like you say, a game like this on a Saturday is massive for everyone. But like you say, it's like I say, I mean, it's the same as every Saturday. We've got to treat it the same, and we've got to just go out there and do our best.
Is that something that you notice, that there isn't a huge gap between the Championship and League Two? And I know you've played non-league football as well. Mm-hmm. Do you think that gap is getting smaller in terms of development of clubs?
Yeah, I mean, look at the players that they've got. And, I mean, some of those have played in the Premier League for how many years? So I don't think there's as big a gap as everyone thinks. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult game, and we'll treat it just like every other game.
It's important to remember it is a league game. It's a level playing field.
Yeah.
There are some big names and some big reputations in the opposition, but you're both in this division for a reason.
Yeah.
Is that a message that is going to be repeated before kick-off, that it's not a third round FA Cup tie, for example?
Of course not. Yeah, I mean, we've got some very good players as well ourselves. Like, we've got players that are very, very good and that can quite easily match and are better than their players, and we're more than capable of winning this game. Of course we are. So I mean, the message for everyone is just go out there and play our game, because we know on our day we'll absolutely have a good chance of beating these guys.
If somebody wanted to make a fly on the wall Accrington Stanley documentary, which players in there would bring the most drama?
I think there's a lot of names out there, but I think Matt Lowe's got to be up there. But yeah, there'd be a lot of good fun and a lot of drama. It'd be a good watch for sure.
I think that's why it's compelling, isn't it? People outside a changing room environment love it because there's always so many stories in there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a great place to be, and we've got a great group, and there's always laughter, always good stories coming out, and it's a very good place to be. So yeah, it'd be a great watch.
And you started by talking about, having to pick yourself up and it being a down changing room after in the week. Does it reset? Is it you come back in for the next training session and you're kind of ready to go again, and not that you're making light of it, but that you've got to have that positivity and that good atmosphere in there? Yeah,
of course, because I mean, we're 2 days away from playing against Wrexham. So I mean, at the end of the day, the Doncaster game's gone. We've got to move on from it, and we've got to almost forget about it, as much as we've also got to remember the things that we need to work on. So yeah, I mean, we've got to pick ourselves up because we've got a tough game, but everyone's capable of doing that. We're all good. So yeah.